Hey everybody, Jeff here. I want to talk to you about Google Classroom and the use of rubrics. Why would you use rubrics? Well, two reasons. One, it allows the students to understand where exactly the target is for their learning, so they can self-monitor how they're going as they go through the assignment, especially in asynchronous learning. And secondly, to make your grading easier. So make it easier for you, make it easier for kids. Sounds like a win-win. Let's dive in to see how we can use rubrics in Google Classroom, and I'm going to give you a gift at the end. Okay, so here we are in our Google Classroom. If you want to see how this works, you can open up a Google Classroom, anyone will do, and we're going to open up a new assignment. When we open up a new assignment, we'll go ahead and give it a name. We'll call this one Rubrics. And when you give it a name, you'll notice that as soon as you hit return on your title, Rubric becomes an option on our bottom right-hand side. If we want to create a rubric, you're certainly welcome to do that. And you put your criterion title and your criterion description, and then you can add as many different levels as you like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're doing a social studies assignment, but you want an ELA portion of it, you can get your whole piece and then you can duplicate your criterion. So if you wanted to do a social studies grade and an ELA grade, you could. Or if you wanted to do a grammar grade and a spelling grade, you could do that too. So you could have multiple criteria. When you finish putting that all in, that will show up in the right-hand side for the students. So the students will be able to check on this. One thing you might consider doing is building a class called Rubrics. Don't put any students in it, but go ahead and share it with your co-teachers or your PLC. Here's why you'd want to do that. If you build a class called Rubrics, and then you build in a couple of assignments like creative writing rubric or project rubric or essay rubric, and you go ahead and create those rubrics, such as this one right here, you can then reuse those rubrics in any of your other assignments. So if I create a project rubric and I know I'm going to be using projects in all of my other classes, I can simply reuse this one. Or if I'm going to be using essays in my classes, I'm going to go ahead and create an essay rubric. And that way, when I create a new assignment in any of my classes, I can steal it. So for example, if I am then in my Google Classroom 101, my test class, and I'm going to go to a classwork, and I'm going to open up a rubric, and I'm going to hit assign. What I can do is I'm going to say, all right, let's call this a test assignment. We'll call it a project. So we're going to use that project rubric. So when we do our project, we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach our project rubric. So I'm going to reuse a rubric. It's going to say, which class do you want to steal it from? Aha, I've got my rubrics class. And now I've got my rubrics to choose from. And I've already got my project rubric. So I'll select that one. Now, let me make sure that that's the correct one, project rubric. If you build your Google Classroom for rubrics and you share that with your fellow teachers, so you can add in your PLCs, if you do that, then all of your fellow teachers have access to that too, and they then can do the same thing with their rubrics. Consider making a rubric class and then reusing those rubrics. That way your whole department will all be on the same rubric. You'll be able to quickly insert them into your assignments, and the kids will all know expectations, and everybody will have those same expectations. I promised I would share something with you, so here's my gift to you. I'm going to share with you JK's Google Classroom rubric template. Here's what you can do with it. When you create that test assignment, rubric becomes available. You can create your own rubric. You can reuse your rubric, or you can import a rubric from Sheets. If I'm going to click import from Sheets, I'm going to go to JK's Google Class rubric. And now you'll notice that there are 4 criterion for this. So there's a thesis one, there's a clarity one, there's a grammar and spelling one, and there's an organization. So you just decide what you want to do. So it already builds it in as 20 because it's recognizing that there are 4 at 5 points apiece. If you really only want one, if you click on the 3 dots, delete this criterion, and then finally, for the last one, delete this criterion, that takes it just to 1 5-point rubric. Then you can go ahead and title it whatever you want. Give your description right here, and then your points going across are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and add your description level for the kids so that they can guide their learning. In this template, when you try to click save, it won't let you. It says there's errors on the page. What it's asking you to do is all you have to do is either click descending, it'll put 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or ascending. Once you do that, then you're going to be okay. So you can go ahead and click save. Now your test assignment has your rubric right there, and it's all built in. Then you can add whatever you want for your links. You can add your instructions, and then you're all set. So again, just simply add that JK's Google Classroom rubric and just make sure that you go from ascending to descending and back if that's what you want. So a way to make it quicker for you to grade and easier for students so that they know how the paper is going to be graded, consider the use of rubrics. Consider also creating a rubrics class and putting all of your co-teachers or your PLC members in that class so that you can reuse those rubrics on each of your class assignments. That way you don't have to rewrite it and the kids already know the expectations. I hope this helps. Good luck and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.